Happy Wisdom Wednesday, everyone. So this week's book of the week is one that was very dear to me during my time as a student at the Altucher MBA, which is Seth Godin's program for leadership and business. And the book is Steal Like an Artist, 10 Things Nobody Told You About Being Creative by Kleon. Now, the book is fantastic just because it's incredibly creative. Of course it is, because it's a book on creativity, and full of fantastic design and pictures and animations. And I brought this out because this is the time of the year that we start to rethink what our plans are for 2021, in business and in life. And I think more often than not, we try and just recreate the wheel ourselves. Now, I have some bad news for you, and that is there is no such thing as originality, because all creative work has been birthed and built on everything that's come before it, including you. You're not just, templated from nothing. You're essentially a remix, a combination of your mother and father, right? And same with many other creative work. Now, let me tell you a story about creativity and how you should actually think about stealing everything. There's a composer named Igor Stravinsky, and I'm going to borrow a couple slides from Austin's TED Talk. And now, Igor was a composer, and when he was sitting down to compose a new ballet, he decided to look at all the classics, and he pulled out all their sheet music from all these classic composers in his red pen, and started to sort of underline and mark and pick the things he liked and didn't like, and started to compose his own harmonies and rhythms underneath it. And when he released his ballet, the critics were outraged, and they said, "How dare you? How dare you take from these classics?" And Igor had a great response. He said, "You respect, but I love." And I think that there is this, unmentioned thing when it comes to creativity that all artists know. We all know it, right? And that is we steal. And there's nothing wrong with that, actually. In fact, I encourage it. Why don't you listen to this guy, who I think is pretty creative?
It comes down to trying to expose yourself to the best things that humans have done, and then try to bring those things in to what you're doing. I mean, Picasso had a saying. He said, "Good artists copy, great artists steal." And we have, always been shameless about stealing great ideas.
Now, Austin had his own journey with creativity as a writer in his blackout newspaper columns, where he essentially took a newspaper, circled some words he liked, and then blacked out the rest of it. And it turns out that there were many artists that come before him that did this. Did that devalue the art that Austin made? No, absolutely not. He took creativity and built upon it. Just like a lot of the things that I've done. Am I the first person to do book review videos? Absolutely not. In fact, I'm very transparent about all kinds of things I steal. For example, a lot of the marketing strategies that I've developed have been stolen from great growth marketers and chief marketing officers and CROs from the past. For example, I did a review many months ago revealing that a lot of my key marketing strategies were stolen from Mark Roberge, who is the original chief revenue officer over at HubSpot, and I just translated it over to medical devices. Flashback. Philosophy Lab, I'll be honest with you, Mark, I've stolen a lot from your book and from your company over the years and implemented it at the companies that I've worked at. But end of flashback. Does that take away from the value that I've created? Absolutely not. Does that take away from the impact that I've made as an artist? Definitely not. But the more we learn to embrace this idea of stealing great ideas, take it, make it in our own, the better off we'll be. Let me tell you another great artist who steals. Sam Walton, the founder of Walmart, who wrote this book on his deathbed, arguably one of the greatest entrepreneurs in our time. And one of the things he was known for, which even CEOs and execs from Kmart admitted, was that Sam stole their ideas left and right and made it better. And so in Austin's book, he has 10 very simple steps to how to steal like an artist, which I will read to you. Steal like an artist. Don't wait until you know who you are to get started. Write the book you want to read. Use your hands. Side projects and hobbies are important. The secret, do good work and share it with people. Geography is no longer our master. Be nice. The world is a small town. Be boring. It's the only way to get work done. And creativity is subtraction. And so in a very simple yet thought-provoking book, he teaches you how to think like an artist. And if anything, many of us, especially in the business world, need to learn how to think like an artist. I always say this mantra to marketers, which is think like a scientist in the sense that you should be objective, really scrutinize your work, but act like an artist, as in you're going to try something new, something that may fail, something that may not work, but that's okay, because that's the whole point of what we do. That's how we show up, and that's how we ship. Another great artist who loves to steal and makes things better is James Altucher. James Altucher comes up with this idea where every day he spends time combining ideas and different frameworks to come up with 10 ideas a day. They could be bad ideas, they could be great ideas, they could be funny ideas, right? And one thing he does is this concept called idea sex. He takes two completely different concepts. Let's say, let's say food and books, and combines them and comes up with, let's say, 10 ideas for books about food that people might want to read, right? The whole idea is that creativity is a muscle you have to exercise every day. In my own way, this is why I do this book review every single week. Of course, I learned how to do video editing and shooting and reviews, but I also find ways to stimulate and exercise my creativity as a discipline, right? Every week I have to show up and do this, whether I'm in the mood to do it or not. So this coming few weeks, as you wind down the year, start thinking creatively. Start looking at different things that you like and ideas you like. Steal things, put them together, and see what you come up with. And if there are two things that are seemingly incredibly different, just spend a lot of time with both those things and see how they can come together and make something new. For me, I've always had this love for books, and I've always had a love for communication. And so the more I realize that I spend time with those two things, that's how this wonderful show, Mindloom, was born, and it's been 2 years running straight now, every single week. So, and I think it's something that's worth considering. So get out there, steal like an artist, get this book, read it, and as always, happy Wisdom Wednesday, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.